Good morning, vinyl community. Welcome to the day after yesterday. I hope everyone is doing well. There is a thread going around, although it's been going on in England, mainly England, for the last few months, much like popular music. Something is big there when it comes to North America. See the correlation there? Anyways, there's been some people here in North America that I've been following making these thread videos of 40, 41 odd questions, however you want to phrase it. Ostensibly, they're kind of directed to get to know you, the people making these videos, that they're questions not really pertaining to vinyl. Although I do talk a lot in my videos about myself, I guess these are kind of aimed at getting to know you a little bit better. Although some of the questions I'm going to kind of blur the truth. You'll see coming up. You'll see. Anyways, like I said, I hope everyone is doing well. I have nothing else to report other than it's super. You can tell it's super early. It's like 6 a.m. right now, by the way. I thought I'd do the video now. Why not? When I'm half asleep. Cheers, everyone. Coffee will make an entrance into these questions a few times coming up here. So, cheers. I will say, I wrote the questions down off of a few other videos to see if they all jived. I think I got them all, but I think, well, that's not true. I think I'm a couple short. But I didn't really give these any thought. So I know what the questions are, but I haven't really thought about it because when I do the video, when I watch the videos, other people's videos, I guess, to watch and write down the questions, I'm kind of more listening to them and their answers. So I haven't really given any thought myself. So apart from maybe a few of them, you're going to get first thing that comes off my head, which is really not always the best, but we're going to see where this goes. All right, number one. Do you like blue cheese? And the answer is a resounding no. Absolutely not. I love cheese. I think blue cheese is more of a European thing, isn't it? I don't know. I know. I mean, it's quite readily available here, but it's more like a delicacy kind of thing. Maybe I'm wrong. In my trailer park area, it's not really considered something you would have in your house. But yeah, no, blue cheese. I love cheese. I'll take mostly any other cheese, but blue cheese, nah, absolutely not. Coke or Pepsi? Well, I've always been a Coke person, but if you, by the way, this is kind of an aside. When I went to Copenhagen a couple years ago, there are more 7-Elevens in Copenhagen than I think in all of North America combined. I swear every block in Copenhagen was a 7-Eleven. We're going to have asides today. If you go to 7-Eleven and they have Slurpees, Pepsi actually makes better, their syrup for whatever reason makes better Slurpees. Although I've not had a Slurpee in many, many, many years when I was young. I was a bit of a Slurpee connoisseur, but I was a bit back then, so. But anyways, Coke all the way, although lately, or not lately, for a long time now, it's been some kind of variance of Diet Coke, and I brought one down here to show you. This is my current obsession, is in Canada we have these Coke Zeros, which unto themselves isn't the best tasting drink ever, but there's cherry vanilla or orange vanilla. These things are the tits. Awesome. So that's what I've been drinking. If I drink cola, is Coke Zero, orange or cherry vanilla. There you go. So I did come prepared for one question. Do I own a gun? Excuse me. It's the COVID talking there. I should also preface this video by saying I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs. These questions are get to know me, and I respect your lifestyle. Please respect my lifestyle. That's all I'm asking. Just mutual respect. But as far as guns go, I am probably the most anti-gun person you'll ever meet, and I don't want to really talk about it any further than that. So obviously, no, I do not own a gun. I hope I said what the question was. Do I own a gun? I'm so busy with off topic stories, but no, I do not have a gun. I will never own a gun, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Whiskey, tequila, or vodka, and I don't drink. I will have the odd shot of something before I DJ, just to kind of calm my nerves a bit. But and that's been my whole life really. Is I don't really drink. I mean, if I drank or did drugs, honestly, these videos would not exist. I'd be making alcohol or drug related videos because I could not afford the music I buy and also be a drinker or into hard drugs, I guess. Number 5, hot dogs or cheeseburger. Cheeseburger every day of the week. Although I don't eat a lot of meat anymore, every now and again. But my wife is vegan, which isn't the reason why. It's kind of more of a medical, which this will come up later on, by the way. As you get to know me, I don't eat a lot of meat. My wife's vegan, and I kind of respect that, so I don't really cook it inside the house. When I do, I might barbecue or something, but it's more of a medical dietary thing, which we'll cover later. But I don't really eat a lot of meat, anyways. But if there's a cheeseburger in front of me, a well done cheeseburger, it's going in this thing. Favorite food. I should have put more thought into this one because should have asked my wife because she knows more about me than I do, or she remembers more about me than I do. I'm gonna come back to that one because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I like a lot of small things. I'm not really into big meals. So to say a Sunday roast, or as someone would say in the UK, or something like that. It's nothing like that. I like a lot of small things. I'll come back. Something will come up. Cheers. What do I drink in the morning? Well, it's 6 a.m. I've already been out for a coffee because I had to go somewhere early. I'll have a coffee. Sorry, the question is, if I didn't say, what do I drink in the morning? If I didn't say it already. I'll have a coffee, get going. Although, here's the odd thing. I never started drinking coffee till about 10 years ago. Never. I might have had a cup here and there, but never a steady coffee drinker. There's reasons for that, but like to have some water, just to hydrate. When I go to work early in the morning, I might have a sports drink as I'm working, just to kind of once again rehydrate. As I'm not the healthiest person ever, so sometimes an energy drink will get me. Not an energy drink. I don't drink those Red Bull things. And sports drink. That's what I'm trying to get at. The ones with electrolytes and things like that. Can I do 100 push-ups? And I think I could do 50 if someone put a gun to my head, but not in my house because I do not own a gun. But if someone put a gun to my head, I probably could do the ass end of the 50. I probably could do the back end of the 50 if someone put a gun to my head. If I was in some foreign country, kidnapped, and they said, you're going to lose your head if you don't do 100. I could probably do 100. I'm pretty confident I could do 50 if I had to. Spring, summer, fall, or winter. I'm going to take fall. I'm a fall person because it hasn't snowed yet. I'm in Canada. It hasn't snowed yet, so we don't have to deal with that shit. And like lately, it's you're not putting up with rain, or you're not putting up with really hot weather. Which reminds me, a couple years ago, there's a video for this on, if you follow my channel, if you go down a bit, go down a bit. There's a video of me in London, the summer of the World Cup, and I was in England for 2 weeks while England was advancing through the World Cup. So London was absolutely fucking crazy. They were bonkers, and it was the hottest weather. They were going through a heat wave where I don't think it was less than minus 34 or 35. And then I went to Hyde Park to see The Cure on the 40th anniversary tour, and I swear to God, on the field in Hyde Park with about 70, 80,000 people, I think it was about 40 above. People passed out. It was intense. And then London, what's up with your tubes not being air conditioned? Us spoiled North Americans, but their tubes are the hottest thing on earth. It's insane. But I love London, so one day I'll move there. Do I have a hobby? I mean, apart from the music. As you can see, I have a brand new guitar. A Chapman ML3 Modern. I am the greatest basement guitar player ever. Although I've played in bands that I've played bass, but I've kind of base key can only go so far. But I'm the world's greatest basement noodler. I'm trying to think what else I do. I do have a number of vintage, or I guess, video game systems. I'm looking at an Atari 2600 original, NES, Super NES, blah 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 blah. I do have those, although I don't really have time to play anymore, which we'll get to in a different question, I believe. But yeah, and sex. Is that a hobby or a requirement? I could be both, but I like sex. Who doesn't? I'm a red-blooded human, I think. Tattoos. Do I have tattoos? Yes, I think I covered this last video, but I have one right here, which I think I got 19. I'm trying to figure this out in my head because it corresponds with an album that came out. It's a tattoo of a band. Not Nitro. Wouldn't get a Nitro tattoo. Someone paid me enough, I'd get a Nitro tattoo. 1992, around there. So it's old and it's kind of getting faded. So either I'm going to get it redrawn out, recolored, or I'm going to have it covered up with something. We'll see. It's been my only tattoo for many, many years. And I'm wearing a long sleeve today, or else I'd show you. But once again, I kind of skirt doing that. Phobias. I don't really have phobias. I have things that I'm kind of OCD about, which I don't know if that counts as a phobia. Since I don't have a phobia, per se, I'm really obsessive about locking doors. God, you guys are learning a little too much about me. But I'm really obsessive about locking doors. I'm one of those. I'm not as bad as I used to be. That's for damn sure. But I'll go around the house and I'll check all the doors and patio windows many times over to make sure they're locked, just to keep everyone in my house safe. And I'm usually the last one to bed, so I'm kind of anal about that. And when I used to own record stores or manage record stores, that's when it was really bad. I used to live not close to where the stores were, so I'd get halfway home at night and have an OCD moment and drive back and make sure the doors were locked and armed. Now that's bad, but and they were always locked. But I'm not so bad anymore about that. And like I said, I don't know if that's a phobia or not. Could be. I'm afraid of unlocked doors. That's a phobia. I don't think anything else. I'm pretty sure about that. Nicknames. Well, I guess Nazz Nomad. I've told this story before, but Nazz Nomad is an odd name, and I kind of had to come up with it. It kind of came about by accident. I'll tell the story one more time. I was doing my first DJ gig many years ago, and I went in, and the manager, or I can't remember who was, the owner, said, well, what's your DJ name so I can introduce you or put it, whatever, on the website, or I don't know what the hell they were doing. And I didn't have a DJ name, and I didn't give it any thought. I'm kind of was a little bit too nervous about for my first DJ gig. And the CD in my car at the time was a band called Nazz Nomad with one Z or one Z. And that Nazz Nomad is an offshoot band of The Damned. Kind of a 60s throwback psychedelic kind of band. Like the Electric Prunes or something like that. Anyways, so I just said Nazz Nomad, but add 2 Z's at the end, or Z, however you pronounce it in your country. Z. So I went with Nazz, Nomad. And that's the only thing I could think of, was that was in my car as I pulled up to the club, Nazz Nomad. That's how that came about. That's my nickname. I don't think of anything else. I'm sure a lot of you have nicknames behind my back or behind the camera. Right? If you're right behind here, when I can't see you, was here behind the camera? You're probably calling me. You're probably shit talking me with nicknames. I hate you all. Anyways, 3 drinks. It's a very vague question, but I don't really drink alcohol. A lot of people have said lager. I've seen Vinyl Richie's video. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he said beer or not, but he's usually drinking a beer, so I can't see why he wouldn't. I can't remember what he said now. Anyways, coffee, a good soda or pop, as we call it here, and God, I'm boring. Water. Water keeps you alive. As I drink coffee that dehydrates you. Can't think of anything else that I drink that I'm very fond of. Do I believe in ghosts? Absolutely not. If someone can produce some evidence, then I might believe. It's kind of like heaven and hell. It's a nice ideal or a nice idea to think that ghosts exist, or not hell, I guess, but I guess one can't exist with the other if you're so inclined to believe that. But it's nice to think that that is out there. But I have a firm belief that it's not. No ghosts, no afterlife. I don't believe in any of that. And if someone wants to show me some absolute truth, then I will say I'm wrong and I'll believe. But until then, I do not believe in ghosts. Biggest downfall. Oh, fuck. This is the one where I think people bear a lot about themselves because you're admitting something that's been a downfall. Like in the question, your biggest downfall. I think mine, if I'm going to be honest with everyone, and I think if you know me as a person outside of this box, you might agree with me, is my sense of humor. It's just the way I am. And if I try to change, like I have it, like, you know, in my place of work or business, a lot of times I'm taking my job very seriously, which I should be. But this is the flip side, which I'll get to in a second. But sometimes I'll be very serious, and people will say, "What's wrong with you?" I get that all the time. What's wrong with you? You're very serious today, and it's like, well, which one of me do you want me to be? Because you try to maybe change yourself a bit because something is a downfall in your life, or and people don't want you to change. They want you to be, I don't know. But my sense of humor doesn't translate well to everyone. You either get me or you don't, and it's worked well for me in work situations where humor can resolve a lot of problems. It can kind of it helps you connect with people, especially if you're working in a very heavy unionized place where there's a lot of not aggressive, but a lot of aggro tendencies between management and workers and stuff like that. But so the humor tends to help me out a lot there. But it's also my biggest downfall, that the people who don't get me, I mean, really don't get me. And like I said, I have tried to kind of tone that down a bit, and then people inevitably are, "What's wrong with you? Why are you taking things so seriously?" That's me, I guess, and it's gotten me into a lot of really good situations, and it's gotten me into some very bad situations where people aren't understanding what I'm saying or the context of what I'm saying. So it's gotten me in a bit of trouble, but I'm still here. I'm still alive, and I'm cognizant enough to be aware that is an issue in my life, and I kind of have to watch who unless you know me well, watch who I kind of kid around with, because, like I said, if you don't get me, I mean, you really don't get me. So there, I'm being honest with you about something. Rain or snow? I'll take snow anytime. Yeah. Try to be outside in rain for a long period of time, and then try to be outside in snow. It's one thing to be wet and cold, but you're not really wet in snow. If it's cold, it's cold. If it's going to fall, it's going to be snow. And trust me, I know where I live. I know all about the snow. So snow is a little bit easier to kind of be out and about in my opinion. Piercings. Nothing currently, but you can't really see, but I used to have earrings here. And I have a story to tell about piercings. Actually, I don't know if I should tell today. Anyways, back in the day, in let's say the mid to late 80s, where I'm from in Western Canada, it's very conservative. A lot of country music is big. Let's put it that way. So there's a lot of people who are not really. I mean, at the time, we're talking late '80s, early '90s. A lot of people were not understanding of guys wearing earrings. So I one distinct memory I have is going to. I mean, back in the day, you'd go out on a Friday night or Saturday night to see a live band, usually a cover band or something. DJs weren't that prevalent back then, so you would, unless the underground clubs had DJs. But I remember going to see this band with a friend and his sister, and being in line at the bar. And that's the other thing people love me about is I'm always the designated driver because I don't drink. Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. But anyways, I had earrings, and some guy came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder, and he legitimately, I swear to God, wanted to fight me because I had earrings. It was so foreign to him to have that guy have an earring here and here, and I come from that place in the world. I'm sure maybe it's like this a lot of places back then. Is you must be some kind of faggot. Hey faggot, or you must be gay or something if you got earrings. Although the band we're about to see has 10 tons of makeup and earrings all over the place because that was the time of glam metal. It's ironic, as Alanis would say. But anyways, yeah, I distinctly remember someone wanting to fight me with his buddies because I had earrings. That was a way too long story, sorry. Age, I think this is the one where I hold my cards close to my chest. See, these videos that people have mentioned, they're all methods of the government or a corporation getting to know everything about you. I just saw a story about face recognition, and there's a company who claims to have billions of people's faces on file, and they can match your face to any picture on the internet or YouTube. That they're mining data against the wishes of YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So this is the one where I hold my, I gotta keep some things private. I tell the girls I'm 29. Which doesn't work, but that's what I tell them. I'm a bit older than that. I think I've told you guys before how old I am, but I'm not divulging that here. French fries or onion rings? If they're cooked correctly, I will take onion rings every time. The one thing I absolutely can't stand is you get in line, and onion rings usually take longer to cook if you're in a fast food place, and they come and they're like limp and soggy and they're not crispy. I want to punch that cook in the face. If they're nice and crispy, I'll take onion rings every time. But if I'm faced with a nice plate of crispy fries or soggy onion rings, I'm going with the fries. But other than that, crispy onion rings every time. Will 6 friends do this video? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know what's a friend. I don't know. If I'm following you on YouTube, is that a friend? I don't know. I'll say no. But then in the end, maybe 6 people I know will do the video. But friends is kind of a maybe incorrect term to use. Because, I mean, how many of us are actually friend in the truest definition of friends? Not too many of us, but the answer is no. Do I have any children? Yes. I have 2 lovely children. I have a awesome 17-year-old son. I don't mind saying their ages. I'll throw them under the bus. But you guys have no idea who they are. I have an incredibly awesome 17-year-old son who I love to death. And I have a 22-year-old stepdaughter living in London, UK. And she's great. She's done incredibly well for herself, and very proud of her. Her mother has done a great job raising her before I met them. And then I just tanked shit after that. I'm kidding. But yeah, 2 great children. I'm very, very, very proud of them, actually. They've grown up to be very, very awesome people that I'm hoping as they get a bit older, we can have that friend relationship that you have with your kids, I'm hoping, when they get older. Favorite color? This is a stupid question. There's some good questions and there's some damn stupid ones. Favorite color? Plaid. Employed? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another question. I should preface this with, I should maybe tell you guys these are questions. Am I employed? Yeah. I mean, this fucking stuff doesn't buy itself. That guitar didn't buy itself. These records, CDs, this house, this coffee didn't buy itself. I like to meet the person who has a vinyl collection or keeps on showing vinyl who's not employed in some sense. That's, I mean, selling drugs is employed people if that's what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. But yes, I'm employed. I got my first job, by the way, when I was 13, and I've never not been employed since then. I've always had a job. My first job, by the way, if you want to know this, Americans might know what I'm talking about, but we had a AAA farm team, baseball team in my city that was the farm team for over the years. The White Sox, the A's, the Angels, and I can't remember who else. But that was my first, that's one level before the major leagues of baseball, is that was where, it was a farm team. And my first job was working for them when I was 13. And that was great. I loved it. And, anyways, I have nothing more to say about that. But anyways, yes, I'm employed, trust me. If I wasn't employed, I'd be in some serious trouble with my habits. Where were you born? Good question. I don't know if I've ever said this to everyone, but I was born not here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I was not born here. I was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and raised for a while in Dartmouth, which is a twin city right across the river or whatever that divides Halifax and Dartmouth. But yes, I am from the Maritimes, and I'm going to get sleepy out of my eyes here, or unless it's a dog here. Yes, that's where I was born. And then this still happens to this day, but in the 70s, there was a huge influx of people from the Maritimes where jobs were scarce over to Alberta during the oil boom in the 70s when Alberta was prospering like nowhere else in the world. Everyone kind of moved here from out east, and a lot of people still do that. Oil's the industry here in our province of Alberta. And to this day, up north, there's always jobs in the oil patches and whatnot. The Maritimers come over from New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, etc. And they come over here to work in the oil patch. But that's what my parents did. They came, not to work in the oil patch, but Alberta was prospering, so there was jobs everywhere in every sector. So that's what they did, like a lot of people still to this day. Brothers or sisters? I am minus one sister. She passed away last year. I think I talked about that a year ago. November. But I grew up with all girls. 3 sisters, if you can believe that shit. Yeah, so I wasn't really surrounded by a lot of men other than friends at school. So to this day, girls tend to be, I kind of gravitate towards them more for friends, oddly enough. Because that's the way I grew up. But I had, sounds horrible to say, 3 sisters. 1 younger, 2 older, and the one 1 year older than me passed away. And if you're a new viewer, passed away last November due to breast cancer, and that was horrible. Have I ever been arrested? No, I've been detained, but never arrested. When we were young and we would be going out causing mayhem at night, and the cops would show up and detain us. And then usually the sober one, I would talk our way out of it. Someone out there knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, then your parents would come pick you up in their curlers and nightgowns and pick you up at 4 a.m. after I bullshitted our way out of that one. But yes, I've been detained with friends, but never arrested. And I can't see a situation where I'll ever be arrested. Oh my God! Have I ever had surgery? Yeah, a lot, and I'm facing one coming up in the next calendar year, I think. I'm facing 2 actually, but in the last 10 years, 11 years, I've had. Well, okay, in total, I haven't added this up properly, but it's probably about a dozen, 12. In the last 10 years, 11 years, I've had 8. About 8 surgeries. I'm not. This is the other honest part. I'm not the healthiest person. Not healthy as in it's my own fault. I have a lot of issues, which I've unfortunately required a lot of surgery. Yeah. So me and surgery, I know all the ins and outs of that shit. Yeah, I've had a lot of surgeries, but that's all. I'm like my age. I'm gonna hold my cards close to my chest on that one. Yeah, I'm not the healthiest person ever, but I'm alive. I woke up alive today. That's all that matters. Religion, I guess. Do you believe in a religion? This is like the gun thing, which I know the gun issue can set off people, usually down south in America, because they have their own beliefs there. But I absolutely do not believe in a religion, and I hope this is one of the things in these videos where if you believe in a religion, if you that's fine. I respect you. There's a lot of people on my Facebook page who are believers, and I totally respect them, what they post, but it seems that when you say that you don't believe in a religion, that's when people start kind of getting on you. So please, let's respect each other. I respect you. Once again, to preface this, I went my whole life in school, other than college and university, whatever. It was all Catholic, and I was baptized, I was confirmed, and all that stuff that went along with it. But my parents put me in Catholic school my whole life. In fact, I had a nun teach one of my classes in high school, and that's the way it worked back then. At least it was for me. You were placed in one school, and then when you got to the last grade of that school, they would automatically register you in the other Catholic school closest to your house, and that's kind of how you went from A to B to C to D, and then you're done high school, and you've gone your whole life in a Catholic high school and junior high school and elementary school, and you're growing up with religion classes every day. So it's not like I'm blind. It's not like I don't know. I'm not in any way, shape, or form a believer in any kind of religion. I believe when you die, you die, and I love the ideal of there being something up there. I would love to be able to say I'm going to see my dad or my sister and my dog who passed away last year. I'd love to have that. It's a nice thought that keeps you going, but realistically, no. Shower or bath? That's a question. I'm a shower person who loves to have a bath just because of back-related issues. A nice bath with some Epsom salts, it kind of helps you calm down a bit. But let's be honest, baths are not the cleanliest places on earth. I mean, you take a shower to scrub down and clean. In baths, you're covered in your own filthy water. But it's relaxing, though. But I'll take a shower anytime. Gambling, absolutely not. I don't gamble. I might buy the odd lotto ticket. But no, I don't gamble at all, ever. And I can't see how I could maintain this music collection and stereo equipment and guitars and stuff if I gambled. I was a good gambler, but I like to see one of those gamblers. Are you a good friend? Oh my God, this is one of those other questions. We're getting on in time here. But you're learning a lot about me, aren't you? Am I a good friend? No. And I'm being honest about that because my medical conditions, it's prohibitive to being a better friend than I need to be. I'm just being honest with you. It's hard for me to go out a lot of times. If you don't feel well somewhat consistently, it's hard to go out and do things and kind of things with friends. Although I do go to shows, not now because of COVID, but when there's concerts I want to go see, I'll go see concerts with my friend Tom or whoever. But as far as maintaining a friendship in between all that, it's kind of like I said, the health issues prohibit me from being a better friend than I should be, and I like once again I'm aware of that and it's very cognizant, or I'm cognizant of it that I'm not a really good friend, but it's kind of medical related. So I'm sorry, everyone. We're getting to the end here. Broken bones. Oh my God, I've had broken bones. This is not even related to the surgery. I've broken this hand right across all four bones in a hockey game, in an actual hockey, not a pickup game, but an actual, when I used to play in leagues, I shattered this whole hand. I've broken this finger, this finger. I've broken separately. I've broken this finger, this finger. I've broken 2 toes. These are usually in. Other than that, these were usually in fights. I think when I was younger. I don't really have a lot of I don't really have a lot of knuckle left here. Let's put it that way. But fighting is dumb. So that's another realization when you get older. But yeah, I've had broken bones. Like, yeah. How many TVs do I own? I own one TV. I'm gonna try to hurry up now. One TV right over there, which never gets watched unless I want to pull out an old Blu-ray or an old DVD of a concert. There's a few odd movies that I do watch, but the TV's lasted me so long because it's so rarely on. So, worst pain ever. Oh man, I have this coming up next week, and I wish I could be more brief about this, but I have 5. I have disc degeneration disease or degenerative disc disease in 5 discs in my back that I blew out when I was a letter carrier or mailman after I owned stores and managed record stores. And they shoot me up with or either cortisone or steroids, and they take needles about yay big. And what happens, let's say I'm laying on my belly. So I'm laying on my belly, this is my back. They insert the needle in the top of your ass crack, and they only freeze it a little bit because you have to be able to tell them if they've nicked your spine or if they've nicked something. But the needle's so big it slides along the top of your spine like that. And then they find the disc via an x-ray and they inject it with the liquid. And sometimes it's here, the disc. Sometimes it's up here. I've been through a lot of medical shit, a lot of surgeries, but that is the most painful thing. And I've had 3 rounds of that, and I have to go for another one next week. And let's suffice to say you're housebound after that for a couple of days because I'm just shivering thinking about it now. And like I said, I have 5 discs that need fixing. That is the question was the worst pain ever. Do I like to dance? Yes. I don't do it much anymore. Sometimes my DJ partner will put a song on that I like when I'm DJing, and I'll go out and dance. But back in the day, the late 80s, early 90s, in the time of early raves and underground clubs, underground clubs, a lot of dyed black hair and leather jackets and black lipsticks and stuff like those underground clubs, and usually kind of underground gay clubs that would play the best music. They were so cutting edge back then, sorry. And I would go in with my leather jacket and I would dance for hours and hours. And back in the time you could dance by yourself in these underground clubs because everyone was dancing by themselves, so it was all acceptable. Everyone was kind of misfits. It was great. I loved those clubs, and you could dance for hours. Not much anymore. But that was kind of back around the time of early rave music, kind of harder industrialish kind of music. But if you know what I mean. All right. We're getting to the end of it. Are my parents still alive? I have my mother still alive, thankfully. But my father sadly passed away, I'm guessing about 7 years ago maybe. And that's probably one of the most horrible times in my life, to lose my dad, and then I lost my sister. It's really hard to talk about still to this day. If you've lost a parent that you're really close with, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't like to talk about that. Do I like camping? Camping was when I was young, was the default thing. We're talking about do I like camping, not glamping. But do I like camping? When you're young, and we didn't know we didn't have a lot of money when we were young because our parents were really good at providing with what they had. But camping was the default thing you did all summer. Not consistently all summer, but my parents worked during the week. Then you go out on a Friday afternoon, and my cousins would come and grandparents would come, and we go to a lake. There's one certain lake about 45 minutes outside of my city, and you all share one big campsite. Your trailers and your tents, and you'd spend 3 days there, and that was kind of what you did, and it was dirt cheap, and because your kids are gone all day, so the adults can be adults, because you're on the beach or in the lake all day, and yeah, it was great. But now, no. Long answer, or short answer, long, no. As I get older, I'm finding that I like those old man creature comforts too much. It's too cold. It's too warm. You know, those things. So I'm not one for camping these days. I kind of like to stay home. Last question, and I think I'm missing a question or two. I tried to write them down through different videos, and this is all I could understand. So maybe there's actually not 41. I'm going to say there's 41 for the recognizability of the title and all that. This is longer than I wanted it to be, by the way. Sorry. But you're getting to know me. Make a video like this. I'd like to know you. Am I weird, or are you weird? Invariably, people have answered yes, and I would have to say yes. I think you have to be. The most uncomfortable situations I can be in is if I'm with normal, boring people. I work with a lot of them, which is fine. That's not ripping on them, but they're very normal, straight-laced people. And outside of my work, or my whole life, actually, I've just been gravitated towards the misfits like me, or just weird people. I consider my wife to be weird, but that's what drew me to her, and that's the elements of her that I love the most, or the weird little things about her. And I love that about people. If you got little weird things, I tend to gravitate towards you. But yeah, being around just kind of straight-laced, buttoned, anal retentive people is the most horrible thing I can think of. It's just horrible. Boring. Anyways, I hope this video wasn't boring. How's that for a segue? It's long, way long. This might be my longest video. I'm sorry, but it's a lot of questions to answer. I hope you got through it, and you probably fast forward to the next question like I did with a lot of people's videos, just to find out the questions. But yeah, that's it. 40-ish, 41 questions. Yeah, odd questions to get to know me. I hope you've learned a little something about me. Make a video. Prove me wrong about will friends make this video. Anyways, I'm going to end this now because this is a long-ass video. And if you have any questions, I'll answer anything except for my age. A girl's got to keep some secrets, you know. Down in the comment box, if you want to ask me a question, ask me a question. I'll answer it. I'm not so stuck up where I think people would want to ask me questions. But, you know, I'm not so presumptuous to think that. But if you have a question, ask me. Nazz Nomad, signing off. Take care, everyone.